Hi there, this is Gary McDougall here, and what I want to talk to you about today are the whiskers on my face. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because usually I shave on Wednesday and do these videos on Wednesday, but yesterday was my birthday and I turned 40. And so I didn't want to make a video on my birthday. I took the day off and I hung out with my kids and we gardened and we ate cake and we went to the pizzeria and we celebrated with balloons because really turning 40 I wanted to celebrate and I wanted, have a good time with my family and stuff. But the cool thing about having children is they want to have fun and they want to celebrate a birthday and they want to have cake. So if you see some bags under my eyes, we were partying hard yesterday. We were having cake and we had it after lunch. Got to impart a little bit of wisdom here. If you're a parent, instead of having cake late at night before bedtime, right around bedtime, we had it right after lunch yesterday with this delicious lemon coconut cake. You can see pictures of that on our Facebook. Actually, we posted it. It was amazing cake. My wife, coming from a baker's family, makes amazing cake, and so we had that cake, and the kids had it, and they had fun, and they blew up balloons, and then we took them out to the pizzeria, loaded the table with pizza, and had a really good time. I'm 40 now, and it feels awesome. I'm a grown up, and it also dawned on me today. My dad was making fun of me last night. He's like, "You're over the hill now." Basically, he said that, and I am. I'm over the hill, and I feel pretty awesome about it. It's pretty exciting. Um, yeah, I haven't felt this excited for a birthday in a long time about a number, and I think a lot of that's more reflective of just the growing that I'm doing and my wife is doing, and the fun we're having with our kids during this process. It's scary at times, but just what I'm going to talk about today is about yoga, meditation, and prayer, and how that can help you get through the fear, and how that can help you grow, and how doing yoga and praying to God and praying and activating your love and moving through fears and growing and listening to God, listening to your heart, listening to those feelings inside, how going inwards and meditating you can hear God, you can hear your higher self, you can hear that just that wisdom that'll guide you and guide you to a better life. Um, yeah, so just started I guess I did, I've talked before about doing yoga, did yoga, did the stretching, I guess you call it yoga. Yoga is just uniting the mind and the body, uniting to become one with God, to become one with your heart, to hear that message. So I do yoga pretty much every morning. I do stretching pretty much every morning. Even on my birthday, I did it yesterday, and I did it today. And yeah, so just with the purpose of becoming one with myself, becoming one with all things, with the purpose of getting into my feelings and feeling that stuff. I've been talking to a lot of people lately, and people are suffering, and people are, struggling in life and stuff, and we can alleviate our own suffering. Sometimes other people suffer, and I really something that really helps me is I try not to attach myself to outcomes. So what comes to mind with that is I used to work in a homeless shelter where there were a lot of addicts and a lot of people that were on the streets and low income and really suffering with life. And sometimes you become attached to people and you really care about people, or for some reason that person just you just feel a connection with somebody. And I remember this one guy. He's a cute little kid, and yeah, he's a really beautiful guy, and we used to talk, we used to joke and stuff. But he had a drinking problem, and he came from a really rough background. I don't remember if he had parents or whatever, but he was on the streets, and he died in his 20s, and it kind of hit me, and it was sad. Actually, I am feeling kind of sad still thinking about that. It's sad to see some people suffer, but some people, it's just part of their path in life. Some people suffer, and some people, they may or may never get over their addictions. They may or may not ever get through that. But I know for me, like a part of my mission in life is I need to heal my addictions. I need to connect with my power, and yoga kind of helps me get into my body and get into what ails me. If people feel love in their hearts, like feeling, like if you feel peace or you feel love or you feel joy, you're not going to kill yourself with drugs and alcohol. You're not going to kill yourself with pain, because the pain's not there. So what I find yoga helps me is get me in touch with my feelings, and gets me in touch with what I'm really feeling. So if I'm not feeling good in some part of my life, for example, like we weren't feeling good in our life with our relationship and with work and stuff, I prayed to God. It's like, God, help me like feel alive again. I know when I'm feeling alive and feeling joy, I feel whole, feeling good. That's how I want to be around my kids. When I'm feeling those ways, I'm expressing my soul like I am now, being courageous, I feel alive. And yeah, so, and and just trusting that, and in following that path. And sometimes it's scary, but if you just feel your feelings through stretching, and get into your body and just feel them through meditation, you can release that fear. You can release, yeah, feeling kind of anxious, because like one thing that we're kind of struggling with right now is around money. And it's like, it's scary sometimes when your spirit wants to grow and it wants to evolve, and it's saying like, okay, the job you're in, it's not the job for you. It's time to do something different. Like it can be terrifying. Like we've gone through terror, we've gone through fear. Like, what if we lose our house, or what if we how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to put food on the plate for our kids? And are we irresponsible? You have all these thoughts, and the mind can just go. So yeah, yoga really helps to kind of process those feelings in your life, whatever you're going through. Like, I know we're not the only ones struggling, and we kind of created the crisis in our life. We did it intentionally because we felt we were guided by our hearts. And yeah, so we do yoga just to kind of work through those feelings, and knowing, like, I've been through this process of growth. I've been through this process of letting go and doing new things, and just seeing how life just works out, how God or love just kind of rushes to the rescue as you take that leap of faith and you go and you listen to your heart, that things will kind of work out for you. So yeah, yoga kind of helps me grow in that. In meditation, I can hear my feelings. I listen to my feelings, and underneath hurt and underneath sadness, there's love, and there's power, and there's confidence, and there's courage. So yoga and meditation kind of help me work through that. And something else is coming up. Just something that's coming up that I'm kind of thinking about is like the saying, and I think it comes from the Bible, is like, love your neighbor. And sometimes it's hard to love. Sometimes it's hard if someone, just the thing that comes to mind is a neighbor that kind of like turned their back to us. They didn't really want to spend time with us. We were different, or we didn't get along, or there's this fight, and there were hard feelings. So sometimes it's hard to love people if there's hard feelings. But, the gift in somebody making you feel, you can't blame somebody. So instead of blaming somebody for how you feel, it's like owning your feelings, is thanking somebody. If somebody does something and it hurts you, or you feel sad, or you feel betrayed, or you feel rejected, it's like thanking them for, like, thank you for helping me feel this rejection. Thank you for helping see this part of me which is unwhole. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to grow and become more whole. So I just think about that neighbor, and they did that. And so my wife and I had to work through these feelings of rejection, work through these feelings of sadness. And that's what people do around us. They show us things about ourselves that aren't whole, that aren't loving. There might be pain, there might be sadness, there might be hurt. So, like, I'll take those feelings, and I'll take those thoughts, and I'm just like, God, like I have these feelings, just release these from me, because this is a sign that I'm not whole, and there's an opportunity for me to grow. So, sending that gratitude to those people, and yeah, on the other side of that, maybe down the road, just see those people suffer. You maybe hear a story that they're on the couch, they can't get off the couch for whatever reason. They're young, but they're ailing, and and doctors don't know what the problem is. You can just pray for those people. I think prayer is really powerful. I think, like, the prayer to me is like, there's love in our hearts. When there's love in our hearts, there's power in our hearts, and that love is power, and that power can create, and that power can heal. So just sending love to those people, sending love to your enemies, sending love to those people that trigger that pain. If you can get through that pain into a place of like compassion and power, that pain might be able to like heal that person. That pain might be able to heal that person to the point where they can get off the couch after 3 weeks because you're praying for them. But not to become attached to that outcome. Just know that there's a mystery in this world, and the mystery is like you don't know how things are supposed to unfold. You don't know how, I don't truly understand God, and it's a mystery to me. But I do know that as I do yoga, and as I work through these feelings, as I heal, as I become more whole, that it's a pretty awesome experience. So for people that are suffering out there, like if you're suffering with seeing other people suffer, you're suffering with seeing people, or you're just suffering yourself and you don't know what's next. If you call out to God, like, I'm suffering, I'm hurting, or I see people suffering and hurting, pray for them, but also for yourself to grow, because sometimes other people can't grow. Sometimes the best thing that can happen is that you can grow. And if you grow, that's going to affect the whole world, because we're all connected. We're all one. And yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, if I feel sad, that's going to affect, the spirit in everything and everyone. But if I heal that sadness, that's going to raise the vibration of everything. So the more I grow, the more I heal, the more I love, and the more I pray for people, I think the more powerful this universe is going to be. The more, the more peace there's going to be in the world, the more love there's going to be in the world. So yeah, so just to meditate. I guess, I've talked about yoga and about stretching and about working through stuff and about prayer and putting that out there, and just not knowing how God or the angels are going to take that prayer, but just trusting in miracles and just trusting in the power of God and trusting in the power of the unseen. And yeah, I just think about, we do a lot of gardening. It's something we do a lot here. We do a lot of gardening at our house. With fruit trees and veggies, and the kids like a lot of raspberries and blueberries, and they like all this stuff. So we plant all this stuff for them, and they love it. So we have a lot of fun in the garden and digging in the soil. And something that I've learned this year is you can give a plant all the love, all the sun, all the water it needs to thrive. But if the soil's like too hard and clay, it's not going to grow that well. Or if the soil is too sandy, it's not going to have enough nutrients in it to grow, and the water's just going to go right through it. And but if the soil is just right, so like I've really been into like feeding the soil. So this is kind of my thing this year. Is my hobby is feeding the soil of plants. And I've seen plants that were like suffering and suffering and suffering, all of a sudden take off because we've been feeding the soil. We put leaves down in the fall. The worms come up and do their thing, and the worms kind of feed the plants with their worm droppings, but also we put in like good natural organic kelp fertilizer on the plants and compost tea to get the microbes in the plants, and microbes break things down and deliver food to the plants. So I think about plants, and what plants have shown me is you can put a plant in the right place and feed the soil, it's going to thrive and it's going to produce abundantly. And that's the same with all human beings. If you start growing, you start feeding not the soil, but you feed your soul. You can feed your body with good food, but if you feed your soul, by cleansing out darkness, cleansing out hurt, cleansing out pain through yoga and meditation, and listening to your heart, and just calling to God for love to be your guide. It doesn't take effort. Love's going to be there. Love is under the hurt. Love is under the pain. If you just follow that love, and stay really honest with your feelings, love will guide you. Love is always there. It never leaves. It can be covered down by hurt. It can be covered down by sadness. But if you work through that sadness, work through that hurt, new doors open. It's just the way the human soul works. So yeah, that's about all. I think that's about all I'm going to say about that. It's just like, if life is suffering for you or others, just if you just pray and just work through your own stuff. They may or may not heal, but you can heal. You can produce abundantly like plants. You can live an abundant life. You can live joyous. You can live healthy. You can live happy if that's your choice. We all have that choice, and no one's condemned to a bad life. If your living conditions are bad, or they can change. It can change. You don't have to accept that. If you came from like a challenging childhood or dysfunctional background, like so many people do, it's like you can either let that control you, or you can let that love in your heart guide you to like a better life. So if you are suffering, or people are suffering, so much love to you, and I just pray to God that you can live an amazing life and an awesome life and a loving life, and I pray for those people that suffer, that that they can wake up off the couch, or they can heal that illness, heal that sickness. God and the angels can help take out sickness and take out disease. And so can doctors. So if you're guided to go to a doctor to get healing, like I had cancer in my foot, and a doctor removed that cancer, there's ways to be helped. If you just listen to your heart, listen to that subtle feeling, that God's not separate from us, that when we work through that suffering, that sadness, like God is that love in our hearts, and that love will guide us, and God is always guiding us to a better life. So I think I've repeated myself about 15 times about everything. I'm 40 now, I'm getting old. I'm repeating myself. So lots of love to you, and life can get so good, and who knows what the future is going to bring. We don't know how it's going to be, but I just know if I keep growing and keep loving and keep evolving, that it just keeps getting better and better. And if it can get better for me, it can get better for you, and no matter what your age. And yeah, that is it. Lots of love.